এখানেও তো নাই ভাইয়া।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, থাক, এটা আছে বললেই হলো।
একটা মিনিট ডিস্টার্ব হয়ে গেছে আসলে।
রেকর্ডিং হ্যাজ স্টার্টেড।
রেকর্ড স্টার্ট হয়ে গেছে?
হ্যাঁ, করেছে একজন। ইমরান ভাই করেছেন। ইমরান খান has started the recording.
ওকে ভাই। আজকে অডিয়েন্সে মানুষ কি ঢুকতে পারছে না নাকি আমি বুঝলাম না, সমস্যা হয়ে গেছে। তো আমরা শুরু করি। হ্যাঁ, good evening everyone. We are going to start the session. Today's session is based on the Power BI, and we have 3 speaker pool in our event. I would like to request Timanta for starting his session. Timanta, are you there?
Yes, I'm Hazan. So let me just share my screen now.
Yeah, please try to share your screen.
Yes. Hope you can see my screen right now.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Right. Okay. So let's get started. I think we have 45 minutes left in this session. So let's get this started. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who had joined us from around the world. This session will be about building your first report in Microsoft Power BI. So basically, if you guys have worked on Microsoft Power BI before, or is working right now, this might not be the right session for you. This is for absolute professionals who had not built a report in Power BI before. Whereas like I have built this session having in mind the business users who have never ever developed a report in their lives. So they are, so that would so if this session would definitely fit in an audience like that. Moving further, for those who don't know me, I'm Timante Vidanagamge. I love working with Microsoft Data Platform technologies such as Microsoft Power BI, Azure Analysis Services, and Azure Data Factory. The most important thing out of all the details that you see in the screen right now is my Twitter handle at Timantevi. So please follow me on Twitter at Timantevi. Moving into the agenda for today, firstly, we'll look at Power BI licenses, basics, and semantic models. And later on, I'll be wrapping up this session by showing you how to build your first report in Microsoft Power BI. Moving right into the Power BI licenses. So there are two types of licenses. One type is Pro license, and the other is a premium license. And also, sorry, there is a mistake in the site. Premium is not a license. It's a capacity. It should be free license, Pro license, and free license. So Pro license is where the basic functionality of a Pro license is where you can share your reports, share your analytics with a audience, with other people. And when it comes to free license, the free license is about you can basically develop your own analytics, and you can develop your own reports, and you can just publish into your own workspace and have it there. So those are the core difference. That's the core difference between these two. So premium premium is actually a capacity. Capacity means premium gives you a dedicated capacity for you to manage your analytical workloads. So it's a mistake here. It should be free license, not premium license. Sorry about that. So let's move right into the Power BI basics. Um, for Power BI basics, I have set up a simple demo. So firstly, we'll move into Power BI desktop, and I'll show you what we got there. So this is the Power BI desktop. So let me get you into that. So this is what you get when you open Power BI desktop. So Power BI desktop is an environment where you can develop your reports. We'll be using it a lot in this session. So this is where you will be basically developing your report, Power BI desktop. You can install Power BI Desktop through Microsoft Store, where updates will happen automatically, or you can jump into app.powerbi into the Microsoft Power BI website, and you can download Power BI Desktop from there as well, and basically get it installed. So this is Power BI Desktop, and in Power BI Desktop, you have three views. You can see the side panel on your left-hand side right now. So we have the report view where you build in the reports. Then you have the data view where you see the data, and you have the model view where you will see an ERD type view, which is entity relationship diagram type of view right here. So you will things will make a lot of sense when I do the demo and when I show you around. So just for the moment, keep in mind that there are three views, which is the reporting view, data view, and the model view. So and the other environment I would like to show you is Power BI service. So if I move into Power BI service, if I move right into Power BI service, this is the Power BI service that you see. So how do you access that? Is with app.powerbi. So all you need to do is just app.powerbi, and you will be getting yourself right into the Power BI service. And if you haven't gone through this link before, you will have to sign in and access Power BI service. And another quick thing to keep in mind when it comes to basics is that in order to work with Power BI service, in order to work with Power BI service, you will need your company account or an office account. Uh, Basically, a company email or an office email. Office email means a company email to work email, I would say, to sign in, because you can't use your personal emails or personal any personal emails to sign in and get your work done. So you will need a work email for that purpose. Also, what happens here is in just to give you a basic understanding, what happens here is whatever you develop in Power BI desktop here, you can basically publish it with the publish button here, and it would go right into the respective location in Power BI service. So in Power BI service is where you share, as I told you, I think I told you previously that Power BI service is where you share the data with your audience, right? So basically, you will have workspaces in a Power BI. You will have workspaces in a in Power BI service. So and another quick thing is you can, for this demo, that whatever what I do right in this demo, you can manage it with your My Workspace. If you can manage it if you are a free Power BI user, which means you don't have a pro license or you are not allocated for any premium allocation. So you can just do it with a free account. Whatever I'm saying here. So as I told you previously, in a free account, you can't share your analytics with other people. So you can only have it within you. So have it within yourself. So that is done by this personal workspace called My Workspace. So whatever you do analytics for yourself, you can manage it here. And in here you have basically it's the components in Power BI are categorized accordingly. You have something called content, and you have data sets and data flows, and also you have a tab which shows you all the everything that is available. And you can use the search bar here to search things around and get yourself around this. You could search simply anything here and get yourself around this if you have too many components. Yeah, that's just a basic view of Power BI. So Power BI service. So I'm just keeping this as simple as possible for anyone who had never ever used a build a report in Power BI or any other reporting tool, so that it would be much more easier to grab and probably get inspired to to work on analytics. Uh, so that's basically my workspace environment, and those are the two key environments that we'll be working on. These two environments will make a lot of sense to you when I work on the demo, when I do the demo, when I do the report development demos and stuff like that. So this is just a basic demo to give you an overview of the environment. Just if you don't understand it up to now, just don't worry. We'll be looking at it. You will be understanding it when I'm going through the when I'll be explaining you when I'll be explaining you how to develop the report, and when I'll be showing you how to develop the report and all that. Okay, that's the demo for Power BI basics. And so for those guys who haven't built any report in Power BI, I think you guys need to get some inspiration by looking at Power BI data stories. So what is Power BI data stories? Uh, so I'll access it and show you guys that. So this is data stories in Power BI. So how you access that is just Google Power BI data stories gallery, and the very first link you get there is the Power BI data stories. So I have accessed that here already, so I would not be accessing that again here. I have accessed that here already. So what it provides you is with what people had worked, what people had done with Power BI. The different types of reports they had built with Power BI can be seen in this Power BI data stories gallery environment, gallery web page. So you have different types of reports that are developed for different types of purposes, and keep in mind that not only for your business domains, right? You can even develop it for any something you're personally passionate about. For example, if you like cricket, you maybe you can do some cricket. You can get in some cricket stats and cricketing stats, and maybe do some analytics with that. And it's all about passion that comes out from here, not specifically focused on business domain or anything like that. So even in this session, what I'll be doing is what I'll be taking you through is a specific business domain, but that does not mean you have to stick with business domains. You can just do analytics to whatever you like with Power BI, and there is no restriction as such. So that is the Power BI data storage galleries for you. So please have a look at it if you haven't built any Power BI or any other reports in using any other BI tools, so that you can understand how you should build your report, and you can inspire yourself to build a report with Power BI. So that is about it for Power BI data storage, and I would move into talking about the demo data source. So the demo data source for this will be sales superstore. It's a superstore data set. a super show data set which has the profit related figures and the sales figures and the appropriate sales figures. So I'll be doing some analytics with that to show you around. Then afterwards, then after this session is over, I'll make sure that I give that data set to Azan, or maybe I'll put it up somewhere so that you guys can use the same data set and use the recording I have used in this session to follow up and build your first report. So maybe I'll upload it somewhere and put the link in here in the slide deck and share the slide deck with you so that you guys can have a look at, you guys can you guys can build your own report with it. That's it when it comes to the demo data source, and I would move into the next one, semantic model. Semantic model is one of the most appropriate things when you are building a Power BI report, when you are doing analytics. So a semantic model is a data model that is catering for specifically for end users. End users are usually business users in an organization or a company. And there are two types of semantic models. You have tabular semantic models and you have multidimensional semantic models as well. So tabular semantic models are previously it was just multidimensional semantic models, and later on tabular semantic models came up. So tabular semantic models are a lot more compressed compared to multidimensional semantic models as well. So a key thing to note in Power BI is that you can only develop tabular semantic models with Power BI. And to explain you about the concept of a semantic model, it follows a basic concept between facts and dimensions. So a fact can be sales. Basically, a fact is a numerical figure, and a dimension is an aspect of looking at a fact. A fact can be sales, and a dimension can be region, and you can you can analyze regional cells with the combination of facts and dimensions in a semantic model. So either I explain all these, I'm just setting up the base here for you, but necessarily specifically I will not be using a semantic model as my source. I will not be using a semantic model to develop my reports today, because I think there is a bit more complexity there for a first user, to a person who is developing his or her first report. So I had just reduced the complexity by cutting this off and having a flat file and just getting data from a flat file and doing some analytics with it. So I had cut that down, so it would be less complicated for you. But it's important for you to see what a semantic model looks like. So you will know the expectation and you will know how it should be when you are working on Power BI for business scenario. So I'll quickly show you a semantic model that I had developed quite a while back. Not for that is for the same Superstore data. I had just developed it for the fun of it. So maybe I thought I should show you that to show you, give you not to confuse you guys, but to show you how it actually should be when you are doing it, when you are working on Power BI for business scenarios. How actually, like, how should a semantic model be when you are doing it, when you are building Power BI reports for business scenarios. So I would show you that. So I have my semantic model here. This is the semantic model. So if you go into the model view, so these are the three views I told you. So as you can see the data now. As this is not a blank file, I had imported, I had brought in a semantic model here. You can see the data in the data view, and you will see the report development happening in the reporting view in the coming slides and in the coming demos. And this is the model we basically say, similar to an ERD diagram. I think almost everyone knows what an ERD diagram is and how it looks like. But the key here is most of the time it's a star schema. So as you can see, it's a star schema that's been followed here. Like if you organize this a bit, you can see that it's basically forming a shape of a star. So why do you use star schema? Basically, star schema is this can be a bit complicated, but just keep in mind that star schema is the appropriate way to star schema is the most appropriate way that would give you better performance in terms of analytics. But in our case, we'll not be going into such complications. So you basically when this forms of a shape of a star schema. So in the middle, you can see the sales struct table, and as you have here, and you have the dimensions that are around it. So I think you might be remembering what I told about dimensions and facts when it comes to the concept in semantic model basics. So there, what I said was a dimension is an aspect of looking at a fact. So I think that's pretty much clear for you. So you have the fact, which has the numerical figures like sales, um, sales, quantity, profit, and then you have the dimensions, which are basically aspects in which you can look at the facts based on one-to-many relationships. So that's just a basic semantic model for you and how it looks like, but don't get it into your head. You don't need to think about it right now. Just think that this would be the expectation when moving forward. This is where you will need to reach moving forward. And just to explain you, yeah, I'll be explaining the rest moving further. I don't need to overcomplicate you guys with this. So this is how semantic model looks like. Just keep that in mind, and let's keep on moving forward. And that was a demo for semantic models. And let's move into the next demo, which is one of the most crucial aspects, one of the most crucial things when building a Power BI report, which is to get your data. So without doing a lot of talking here, let's move right into the demo, and I'll show you what it's about and what it's like in the demo itself. So I'll move into I move into my blank Power BI desktop file, which I just showed you previously today, before a few minutes. And in this blank desktop file, what I'll do is I will take you get data is this basically this functionality where you bring in data from a respective data source. So if I go into more, if I click on, basically what I did was, just for you to get an understanding, I clicked on the drop down arrow that you see under get data in the home tab, and I went and clicked on more. So when I clicked on more, it shows you all the connectors that you can use to connect and get data into Power BI. So that's what this is basically about, getting your data to do analytics with it. So it is one of the most crucial components. So when you go to more, you can see it's much more organized in here. So you have the file connectors that you can use. You can use Excel, CSV, XML, JSON, folders, PDF, Parquet, and SharePoint folder. And in database also, you have almost all the types of databases. I think almost all. And also you have in Power Platform, you have Power BI datasets, Power BI data flows, Dataverse, Power Platform data flows, and Power BI data service. So that's what you have in Power BI Power Platform. And in Azure also, you have almost to every Azure data component. In here, you have Azure SQL database, blob storage, and everything else is provided here. And you have other online services as well, so I will not be going to each one of them. So you can have a look at that Only thing is to just to click on the drop down button as I showed you previously, and under get data, and click on more, and you will be ending up here. And you have another set of connectors that are under other. So as you can see, there are tons of connectors that you can use, like almost from any data source at the moment. And some are, yes, some are still in beta, but they will be coming out with time. It's really amazing to see how it's been improving and how it's been how Power BI has been growing over the years. So that's about the connectors for you. So in this case, what we'll be doing is we'll be getting in a superstore data set, which is a CSV file. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going under files, and I'll be clicking on text CSV option, and I'll click on connect, and I have my superstore file right here in the location, and I would click on that and click on open. Afterwards, you will be directed into an environment like this, into a window like this, where you should have a small snap of the data set, superstore data, so you can see you have a lot of columns in quite a lot of columns, and quite a lot of analytics that you can do in here. But for your information, I had just simplified this, and I had thought of building a simpler report so that you guys can follow up rather than going all complicated with this. This is the basic snap of the data set. So there are three key options that you can do here. One is to load the data as is to Power BI, which is with the load yellow color button you see here, and you can click on transform to do certain transformations. Would not be talking any further with that, but I'll be showing you what it is about. And cancel is to take that off, just to cancel the process. So I would not go with load because it will load the data as is. Just to show you around, I'll go with transform data and see what it's like. Transform data will take you into the Power Query web of Power BI. So what is Power Query and what it is used for? It is basically used for data preparation and data transformation related tasks in Power BI. In a much more user-friendly way, I would say. So you don't need to know how to code. You don't need to know anything as such. You just need to know how to use these UI level components. So you have tons of features, transformation and cleansing, and tons of features around that you can use to prepare your data in an appropriate way. Or prepare, transform, and cleanse your data in an appropriate way. In here, so I'll be taking you around that for a bit. I'll be taking you around the function, the transformations, and the other cleansing, and all the other tasks that you have in hand that you can do with the data that you just move that you want to transform. So you have basically the choose columns and go to column option. You have remove columns option. Choose columns is to choose a set of columns, and you have split data, split column option, and you have data type, where you can select the data type of your data, and you can select first row as headers in this data set. So there is no necessity to do that in this case because it's already the first row is headers. And two important features for the combining data: merge queries and append queries. So append queries, if you guys are familiar with SQL or anything like that, append query is similar to a union in SQL. So that's where you bring in multiple data sets with the stream structure to one single data set. And merge queries, it's like a join condition in SQL, where you join two data sets with a common key and just do some analytics with that. So that's something important, and you have some AI insights which are actually premium features. I will not be going into that level. And you have transform features, and so you have tons of features here. So I'll be not be taking you through all this because of the limited time we have. Basically, this would be ideally another session that I can do about how you can build your semantic model, how you can build your prepare your data. So I'll be just going to the home tab and I'll be clicking on close and apply, which would load the Superstore data I have here into my Power BI desktop view for analytical purposes, basically to build your report. So it would be loading, and that is it for this demo. So I'll quickly move into the next demo. So before moving any further, so if you guys are interested in converting this fact file that you just saw in the screen, converting this particular fact file, I had just loaded, as I showed you, into a semantic model, as I showed you previously with facts and dimensions. You can just have a look at this blog post which I had written. It had all the details from head to tail, in head to tail in terms of how you can build this tabular semantic model, and how you can how you can convert this same flat file into a tabular semantic model. So guys, please have a look at it. Maybe I'll put that in the chat after the session, and maybe when I share this slide deck, you guys can have a look at it as well. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are interested in moving into a semantic model. I'll not be covering that, as I told you previously, because of the limited time duration we have. Moving into the next demo, we have measures. So what are measures? Measures are used for basically KPIs and metrics that are used for analytical purposes. So you create measures separately for a particular purpose, which is to reduce the model size and for faster querying of data. So measures never store data in it. So what it does is, whenever you execute, whenever you trigger a particular report, whenever you basically look at a particular report that has a specific measure, it would trigger it only that time for that particular aggregation or evaluation level. So measures are basically developed with the use of DAX. So that's something to keep in mind. And I would not be going further into DAX, because DAX can really just mess up with your head if you are a beginner. So we'll not be going into that level. We'll just simply develop our first report at this time, and later on maybe we can do sessions on DAX and model semantic model development and areas like that. So it's important that you focus specifically on keep it simple for now, and then think about moving further ahead of that. So I have a quick demo on measures as well, so I'll be taking you through that. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be creating two measures with reference to the three numeric figures that we have. So we have profit, we have quantity, and we have sales. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be creating three measures. So how I create that is, you can do that in two ways. One way would be by new measure option here. So click on your respective data source where you should create a measure, and click on the new measure option on the table tools here, and you will see the new measure option here. So I will call this sales amount, and I will be using a simple aggregate function, which is sum for this purpose, so that I would not be using any DAX in this case. Yes, sum is also an aggregate function in DAX, But I would not be going into the depth of that to keep it simple for you guys. So what I would be using is just a simple sum as if you guys have used SQL before, just sum and just you just have the column name inside that particular column inside that particular inside the brackets, and then just click on enter on your keyboard and you will be off. And you can either click on this tick you will see on your left hand side as well to create the measure. So as you can see, you can see the measure here. So measures does not store any data, as I told you. It's different from columns. So in columns you can see the data. You have row level data for each column. So if I take you to the sales measure, which I just sales column, which I created the measure with, you can see for each row you have a particular sales figure. But for measures, there is nothing like that. So as you can see, you don't see anything called sales amount as in here, right? Because it's a measure. It doesn't show any data in the table level, in the row level. It aggregates and provides you the data in a for a particular evaluation. When you basically trigger it, when you open a report, when you look at a report, and when you refresh a report, so that's what it's about. So that's measures, and you have something else that you can create other than the data that you get from the table, which is calculated column. I'll not be talking much about it, but you can create it from new column option here. What it does is it's basically do specific customizations for your analytics. For example, calculations, maybe particular conditions, maybe a column with particular conditions and stuff like that. And yeah, and to extract some specific data from a specific another column and stuff like that. So that's what calculated columns are used for, and it basically stores data in your model in the row level. So that would add some increase your model size, and that would not really help your model size in a positive way at all, which is it would not lower your model size in any way. So it is important to keep the calculated columns in the minimum as possible, but for this session, of course, you will not need any calculated columns. We'll be just keeping it simple. I just told you a few points to keep in mind when moving further, because at certain times you will have to use calculated columns when you are moving further down the line. That's it I would just create the sales measure as for now. Sales measure as for now with the limited time. There is a lot of things to show. So other two measures, I might be creating that. I might create that when we are building the report. So let's just move into our next demo now. So the next demo is the report layout. So now we have got the data in place, right? We have got the data in place, and we have built the measures. And just to build your first report, you need a proper report layout that you can stick to and that you can build a report with. Before moving further in this step, before moving into the report layout and showing you how it's done step by step, I would show you the end expectation of this session, and end expectation, the report that we'll be developing and that that I'll be developing step by step and showing you for your analytical purposes. So firstly, this is the report that we'll be developing. So I would move into report layout, but before that, just to show you what that this is the final output that will be coming up in a couple of minutes today. So nothing much here, nothing to worry about. It's just I have just kept it simple as possible. So you have sales figures, quantity figures, profit figures, and you have basically you have a map just to saturate in the saturated by color based on the sales amount of sales. The darker it is, the higher sales it makes. And you have sales by product, sales by customer, and I would not be moving into any deeper detail in that, but just keep in mind that this will be the final output that I'll be developing step by step for you guys. So the first step in this is to put out the report layout. What is the report layout? So the report layout is the background you see in here, and basically dropping in a headline and having a logo. So I don't have a logo here, apologies for that. So it would be nice to have a logo, and so that it would look a bit more compelling. If I just move into the data set that I started to work on scratch with, firstly, I'll lay out my background. So I had created a background with Gravit Designer, which is a background designer. You can simply design that and develop your own background with your own colors. Gravit Designer to keep in mind. Oh, if you are proficient in tools like Power BI, tools like Photoshop, you are you are free to use such tools as well. But since I'm not a proficient in graphic designing and stuff like that, I had sticked with Gravit Designer, which needs minimal effort for you to do these developments. So I have done this. So as you can see, I had brought down the layout. So I have 2 pages in my report. So I will duplicate the same page multiple times. So rather than doing it twice, and basically I need a headline here. That headline would be, for that headline, I will be going to insert and text box. By the way, I'm sorry if I didn't show you. So how you bring in the background, I think I showed you that background is with this wall. You shouldn't select on anything, any other option. Without selecting on any other option, go into anything without selecting on any visual or anything. Just go into wallpaper, and inside wallpaper, you will get an option to add a background. So you can add a background, and you can edit the transparency of your background as per the requirement, and you can set up your image fit. So fit is the right setup for me, so I'll be going with that. Rest of the stuff are not really working out well with this. Not really sure why, but that's how it goes. So that's about that. And about the heading, as I told you, I had just gone to insert and just text box. As with Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, which you guys have usually used, it's simple as that. Just I will put in here sales analytics overview here, and I would just lighten up that a bit and put a better a better font size, and I would just put it white. You have all the tools that you need to format the text here, and afterwards what I'll be doing is I'll be removing the background. So I'll be removing this white background with the on off option that you see here. That's taken off. So what you do is you don't need to do this all over again. Control C, copy it, and paste it in your other location, and just let's name it details. And when it comes to report layout, the report name matters as well. So let's just put a report name here. So in here, I would say this overview. And in here, I would have the details. So the details and the overview. So we have two pages here, and that's it for report layout. So as you saw, it's just a matter of minutes when you set up the things to move ahead. Next is the report slicers. So what are the slicers? Slicers are basically another fancy word for filters that are used in Power BI. So filters, you guys might know, filters are used to filter the data. If you are if you are a person who is developing, seeing this who had never developed reports before, filters are something like this. So I have um, uh, a filter called state. So when I filter on that, you can see that the particular state related data is filtered out. Florida, filtered out. California, filtered out. So that's just about a filter. Rather than saying that in words, I think it's clear for you now. Clear for you now. So how I build the filters is I'll just build one, and I'll copy it from this and paste it there. Because of the limited time duration that we have. Uh, so first, how do you create the filters is, firstly, you can select on the slice option that you see under visualizations pane here. So this is called a visualization pane. So in here, you have the slice option. Basically, this is the visualization pane, what you see on top. You have all the basic visuals that are required in here for your analytical purposes. So I would select that slice option. So when you hover it, it says slicer. And I would want to put my date as the filter. So you can see date as a date hierarchy. Under hierarchy is something similar to an organizational hierarchy. I would not be talking in depth in this session because it's a semantic model component. So maybe when we are doing a session on semantic model development, we'll touch that area up. But for now, just keep in mind that it's similar to the sales organization hierarchy in a company. So in here, I have, so as you saw here, so I'll take that off and show you again. When I select, drag and drop year to here, so when I just selected year, and I have year set up here, but this is not really the way I want. This is a slider, so you can slide according to year ranges as your preference. I don't need to go into that level. So what I do is I click on this drop down option that you see in here and click on drop down. Basically, click on this arrow facing downwards on top and click on drop down. So that drop down will give you something like this. So you can filter it out that way. So it's simply the same for the rest as well. But when it comes to something like state, it's a bit different. You don't necessarily, it doesn't show a slicer because it's not a numerical figure. What it would show you is basically an entire set of options. So I'll take you through that as well, like this. So this is not really user friendly and effective for an end user. So it's not looking good as well. So what I'll do is I'll click on the same down arrow downwards and click on drop down, and it would give me the same output. That's it for the slicer. So what I'll be doing is I'll be quickly just doing a Control C and getting my slices down to the other end. Which was apparently possible, but it should be possible now as well. Oh, I can't apparently do that, but I remember that feature. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just create two slices then. I don't need to take you to the same repeating task all over again. So I would click this here and click select and drop down. And the other option is I would bring in state to here and state once again a drop down. So let's have these two filters here, and just you can, it's a bit overlapping, yes. So you can just came it out, and also you can remove the background if you like as well, same thing. So you have the all the formatting options and the fields here, fields that you will be assigning, you have assigned to the specific component, reporting component here. So Formatting options. In the formatting options, you have all the ways in which you can format a particular reporting component. I'm sorry if I missed that. I would have told this to you earlier. So that's it. But I think it's pretty straightforward, and anyone would simply understand this. So I had just brought in two filters, and I would just apply the same filters for here as well if it's required. Okay, that is actually done. So when I do that, it would ask me to sync whether you want to sync the slices. So there is an option for sync slices. What will happen is if you select a particular slicer filter option, if you select a particular option to filter in the first page, it would reflect on the second page as well. It sync basically. So I don't need to take things to that level. So I will click on don't sync. So that's about it when it comes to slices. Now it's time to get down to the actual visualization level of things. Visualization, so we have, so for visualizations, before moving any further, I have a visualization guide for you guys. So that is this. So this provides you basically this is like a visualization session cheat sheet. When you get the slide, you can just access the link and check it out when you are building visuals, like what type of visuals you need to develop and all that. You can get a proper understanding on that. So I'll not be briefing you everything in here. But you guys can have a look at it and get an understanding on based on your requirements, what are the types of visuals, and just get an idea on what type of you guys can get an idea on what type of visuals that you guys can develop. Guys can plot up for analytical purposes here. So I had put up that link here. So we'll just get into the core part of it, which is report development. And I have my blank file here with the 2 pages. So firstly, what I'll be doing is I'll be bringing in the KPI cards. So to bring in the KPI cards, I will be bringing in something called cards. Cards are what you see in this option in here. So these figures are called cards. So I'll be bringing in cards for my report. So cards, I would just select on if the card option is here, which says 1, 2, 3 icon on top on here on the visualization pane. So click on the card option and I would select on sales amount. So actually, to be honest, the rest of the measures should be available as well to develop the KPI options for cards. So since I don't have the measures ready for that, I would just be going with the sales amount. I hope that's fine. But the rest would probably be the same. Let's see how it goes. So I have brought in the sales card here, and I had just omitted these two, quantity and profit for now. And now I have to begin the now I have to begin my report. So these are the attributes. I had just brought in the state and provided the color saturation with cells. So that's a shape map. Actually, I really love using shape maps because it gives a really good look. It's really good looking in a report if you have regional analytics in it. So I don't have second choices where if I'm using shape maps. So you can see that here. So I had just clicked on the shape map option here, and in the shape map option, what I do is I would bring down the state as the location. And as you can see now, since I haven't provided any color saturation, you would see the same flat color for the entire US. But when you click on one, you can see that the sales amount is changing according to the respective shade. And so to provide some color saturation to it, you would select on this, click on the sales amount measure, and would provide color saturation. So you can see it's the same visual that we had before. It looks really compelling, and I have that. And what I'll be doing is I would just make this smaller, I guess. Clock is ticking, 5 minutes more, but let's just do finish this off. This is like the final thing I have on board. So I have the report here, and finally, so I have built the map here. So let's see the length I had given for the map. So the length and everything can be managed by here as well. So I don't really have the time to go into the depth of this. So this is, but it's pretty straightforward and anyone would understand what this is about. So I would do 314 as the height here and make sure everything aligns into that. So 314 as the height. And I would make the sales figure align into that, and yeah, that looks fine. And the other visual I would like to create from here is the sales product visual. So I would not be creating both these visuals because both these are same visuals. So I would just stick to the sales product visual, sales by product. So I have how I had created that's based on 3 columns: category, subcategory, product name, and sales, which is the measure. So I will quickly do that. So that visual is here, clustered bar chart. Oh, I think you can use stack bar chart as well. So I would click on structured bar chart, and afterwards I'll just drop in the columns that I need for the axis. So that would be category, subcategory, and the respective product name. So I have the hierarchy here, and for the values I'll bring in the sales amount, and there you go. You have the same visual that you had there. Only thing is I had drilled down in that to the next level. So drill down. So hierarchy is like the organization hierarchy you have in companies, and drill down is where you drill down to that specific level in the hierarchy, and you can drill up as per the requirement as well for upper levels. So moving up and down the ladder, moving up and down the hierarchy is called as drilling up and drilling down. So if I drill down from here, you can see I'm drilling down to a lower level in the hierarchy. So the hierarchy here is category, subcategory, product name. So building hierarchies is basically another functionality that's for semantic model development, as I told you previously. Will not be really covering up that up. And finally, I'll have I'll have my the final visual, which is the line chart. So how I create the line chart is I would sorry. So as you can see, it would change according to that's good that it happens. So you can see that if you select a particular visual and visual that you had developed, created, and if you click on the type of visual here, it would change according to that. So if I click on this again, and you can see it changes. So what I do is I click on a line chart, and I would bring in just month for the moment. Don't need to complicate that as well. So sales amount in here, and you can see a month level analysis in here. So everything that where you need to use line charts and where you need to use pie charts and everything are given in that visualization cheat sheet which I just showed you. We'll be sharing that over with you guys so that you guys can get a better understanding on this, and basically filter it by a particular year, and you have this page set up. So you can see it just got me a few minutes to just develop this first report that we all are talking about. I wouldn't necessarily move into the details page, but just to show you how the details page is built, I'm not going to go to any complications right now. we are running out of time. So basically we have customer name, and I'll take in custom name, region, and I guess product name. I'm just randomly picking up columns, but you guys can organize it according to your requirement. So I will bring in date as well. So you will notice that when I bring in date, the entire date hierarchy, as I told you previously, will drop in. So it might get a bit of time, I guess. I'm not really sure what's happening there. I guess it's no. So okay, so when I selected that, it came. So you can see that the entire hierarchy comes down to the report, comes down to the table. So you just want to see the order date. You don't need to see all these complications. So what you do is select an order date and just put that up the ladder, put that up the order in the report, and there you go. You have the details page as well. So that's basically how you create a report. As you can see, I just build a report in minutes. That is pretty okay, I guess. And you guys got a better understanding of this. And custom visualizations will not be really going for a demo with that since we are running out of time. Basically, custom visuals are basically visuals that you see here. So yeah, maybe I'll show you that as well so that you will know what it is about. So to go to custom visuals, you should click on this ellipsis and under get more visuals and go to basically click on this ellipsis and go to get more visuals, and you have the custom visuals. These are the visuals that are not basic visuals. These are a particular set of advanced visuals that are developed by specific parties and approved by some are approved by Power BI and while some are not. So you can see this visual is not approved, and this where you see with a um, blue color tick is approved. So you can use this in your analytics as well, not be going to the depth of that since we are running out of time. So uh, we have custom visuals there, and finally we'll be publishing this report into Power BI service as I told you previously. So what I'll be doing is maybe I'll publish the report that I already have since I don't need to save that all over again. So click on the publish option that you under home tab, publish option right at the end under share. Click on that, and it asks you to save the changes whatever you have, and you save it, and it would direct you to a window where you can publish a report. I think I will show you this. This is like the last thing I have to show you guys. It's getting a bit of time. I'm not really sure why. Maybe I have opened 3 Power BI files here. Yeah, so till that's loading, maybe I'll take you to the rest of the slides a bit. So I have other resources as well. So you have on in place for you guys as well. You have the Power BI community where it's basically the hub for all your help and everything that you need, all your guidance. That's the hub for you. So please log into that. If you have any issues, problems, you can get in touch. You can simply post it there and get help, and there is other kind of support that's available there as well. So basically there is a blog there, and there are a lot of things that's going on there, so please have a look at it as well. Then you have Power BI tips. Power BI tips is useful. I specifically don't have time to show you that, but just access the website and see. You will have many different types of tips in terms of a lot of things that you can use in your Power BI reports and stuff like that. Even templates and stuff are also there. So please log in. Please access this and see. You will get what I am saying. When you do that, so let's see whether the publish option is loaded right now. Yes, So we have the publish. When you clicked on the publish option, you have this window popping up, and you have to select the workspace as I showed you previously, in which you need to publish the report. So I'll click on my workspace, which is something any free user can do as well. So just publish it to my workspace, where I'll be only where I can only see the analytics that I do, and I can't share with anyone else. So once this is done, yeah, you will get this option where you want to open the report, and when you click on that, open the report, and there you will have the report in place. So basically you have the entire report here. So as you can see, the detailed view. Don't have much time to get you through this, guys, but if you guys have any problems throughout this session, please reach out to me. I have my LinkedIn at Timanthevi. You can connect, anyone can connect, and I would just help you out at any time in which I can. In which I can. So yeah, the purpose of this session is to help out the new users who are interested in using Power BI and haven't used Power BI before. So I hope this was very useful and this inspired me. I think in 2018 we had this SQL Saturday in Sri Lanka, and back in time, Anupama Natarajan, who is a MVP in New Zealand, came down to Sri Lanka and did a session to all of us in SQL Saturday with an introduction session like that, and it inspired me that day to learn Power BI and reach whatever I have reached today. So I think this session at least inspired one of you guys to just go on with Power BI as well. So thank you very much for Azan for giving me this opportunity, and don't forget to just scan through the QR code and provide me with feedback. If you guys don't understand anything, feel free to contact me as well. So I had just kept it simple as possible. So keeping things simple is not really easy. I have been getting down to the shoes of a business user who who had never developed a report yet to get this session up for you guys. I hope it made a lot of value for you. And if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. So thank you very much. And sorry for getting 5 minutes extra. And I guess it's worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, Timantha, for your nice session. And it's a nice session, and it's a very helpful session for the people who want to start his career or he want to work on Power BI. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Yeah, no problem, Mazen. And please, if anyone is having any questions, please reach out to me. If something is confusing, because I had a kind of, it's really not easy to just make you understand all these components in a span of 1 hour. But I tried my best to do that. So if you have any confusions, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll help you whenever I can. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for joining the session. And after end of the session, hopefully by tomorrow, we'll upload the session video on YouTube so that the guys who are not available or cannot able to join this session, they can easily access the nice session. And it was very meaningful, and it will be very encouraging for who yet not know about detail about the Power BI. Now we are going to move towards our next session. Our next speaker is Tamid Onik. অনেক ভাই আপনি আছেন?
জি ভাইয়া।
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আমাদের নেক্সট সেশনটা হচ্ছে তাহমিদ অনিক। তো আজকে আসলে একটু আমার মনে হয় কোনো নেটওয়ার্কের একটা সমস্যা হয়েছে, যে কারণে আসলে আমাদের অডিয়েন্সটাও একটু আসলে লো। তো hopefully we will be careful on it next session, from next session. And now we are going to invite Tahmid Onik for his presentation. And today's presentation objective is to is and focused for those who yet not started or or he is in the he is in the beginning level. So we want to encourage those people to onboard on the Power BI. Thank you very much. Please start, Onik.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. This is MD Tahmidul Abidin, and welcome to the Global Power Platform Bootcamp 2021. So this session topic is no code automation with Microsoft Power Automate. So I am MD Tahmidul Abidin. I am a software engineer in JNF2 Limited. I am also working as a SharePoint consultant, and I have been awarded as a MVP in C# Corner. I have a Microsoft certified solution developer on SharePoint and Azure development. Um, in general, I worked on ASP.NET, Office 365 solutions, Azure solution development, etc. To get contact with me, you can email me on onik43@gmail.com or on my LinkedIn. Or if you can contact or reach me, I have a website that tahmidulabidin.me, and as a technical writer I upload my blogs there. So let's start the session. Here at the session agendas, we'll try to complete this agendas as we are trying to um, focus on the beginner level personals and the business users to get know about our power platform. So this session targeted for the beginner level points. So here, after completing these points, we'll have a demo, and after that we'll have a question answer. So let's start here. Microsoft Power Automate. So for Microsoft Power Automate, before going that, so Microsoft has introduced this Power Platform. The three components are Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate. Power BI, the previous speaker is talking, it was for business analytics, and for Power Apps, that is used for application development. And as today, for this session, we are talking about Power Automate, which is used for process automation. And all those components will be linked for common data connections, AI builder, and common data services that is provided by Microsoft in this platform. And as Power Automate, so what is Power Automate? Previously, it was known as MS Flow, as we already know. So this is a workflow service that automate action across the most common apps and services like this Power Apps and Power BI. If we want to connect them, Power Automate can be handy for that. And this is not only for a developer, it is also useful for a business person. So Microsoft is saying that Power Automate allows anyone with knowledge of the business to process repeatable flows that trigger into action and perform the process. So that was the definition, and we can say that. So why Power Automate, right? So why we are talking about Power Automate? What is important there? So this is for everyone. As we are saying, it is a design for everyone. All as experienced developer can use this. Also, business users can use this to automate their tasks or automate their business, right? So there seamless and secure integration there. So with Power Automate, we can seamlessly integrate them with other services provided by Microsoft or even third-party services. So that is one pointer to use that Power Automate. Next is scaling automation. So it can scale the automation efficiently across the organization. So allows everyone to create the Power Automate, or for a single automate, if multiple person can come together and create that thing, okay, in a collaboration procedure. So that is needful things or important things. The next point is accelerated productivity. So the Power Automate will accelerate our productivity or the organization's productivity. It will minimize the repetitive, manual, and time-consuming tasks, and it provides more time for the teams to focus on the business. That will be very important point. And the next thing, the Power Automate is an intelligent automation. For intelligent automation, what do we mean that? So combining intelligence with automated workflows through embedded AI. That's what Microsoft says. But what does that mean? So it means that recently Microsoft has integrated RPA or robot process automation with Power Automate. And with that, we can easily automate our daily tasks like giving entry or even copying one huge files to another row by row. That can be done by this Power Automate. So those are very useful when we are talking in our daily life, right? So how this connects with other. So Power Automate provides more than 300 app connectors or service connectors by default. It has currently near about 320 built-in connectors to connect with different services. They supports both native and third party. I am saying about native like Outlooks, SharePoint, Dynamics, and etc. And even for third parties like Twitter, Gmail, and others, even Adobe. Adobe services can be connected with Power Automate with this providing connectors. Let's say we need different connectors for our application, what we have been built. Okay, we need to connect with that Power Automate. We can also do that. There are procedure or process to do that. They have given us the options. So next, how to build this? Okay, so they have already provided different templates. So that's why they are saying the business users can easily use that. So if there are someone tries to approve something, sorry. So for the approval, which is hugely used, they have provided some templates, and for button template, which will be very useful, and lots of other templates. So the point is there are by default templates, and you can use blank templates where nothing is there. You can start it from the scratch. So that will be handy. And what are the attributes of Power BI, Power Automate? So here are the attributes. First is diversified triggers. So what does that mean? This trigger starts your flow, which can be initiated from buttons, connected apps, or schedule. Like we need to trigger the flow by clicking a button, like a mobile button. It can be a mobile button. It can be an Power Apps button, something like that. Even for a specific event trigger in SharePoint or Dynamics, even in Excel or a specific folder in our computer, we want to if some files has been copied there, it will start the flow and it will work on regarding process. So that's an useful attribute. And the next is share like documents. So we can share build. Let's say I have built an Power Automate, and this flow will be needed my colleagues. So I can share it like a document. I can click on the share button, put his email address, and send it to him. He can collaborate it as his own entity, and he can update that as he needs. Also, the next is the seamless integration. As we have already talked, that the integration procedure is very seamless. They have already provided 320 connectors to connect with other services, and we can create other services as well. So the fourth is thousands of actions. So we can choose the built-in actions that is provided, and we can use them. Also, we can create actions with the help of Microsoft Azure Functional and other things, and we can use that easily. Like when an email is coming, it does an action, or sending an email, something like that. This is provided already by Microsoft there. Next is data connectivity. So whatever we are doing, that's the process that always we need data to save for a long time or a short time. So with Power Automate or Microsoft Flow, as we say, they provide us simple and secure way to data connect. To connect there are simpler connectivity facility there. We have already know that. And the next one is Extensibility Mode. So for automate advanced scenarios with multiple steps, branching conditions and more, we can use this facility. And synchronize files between first party and third party, we can do that here. And built-in data platform, that's an important thing for Power Automate and also other component of Power Platform. They use and specific data platform which is called Common Data Services, CDS, and that is built in provided there. We don't need to create or build something like that. That will come with the applications on its own. And the last one is intelligent automation. So building flows, if that is provide some AI, we can do our daily tasks more easily, as we have saying previously that even if we want to copy files from a folder regarding some conditions, that can be done with our Power Automate. Okay. So next, there are different types of Power Automates. Basically, there are 5 types of Power Automates. So first one is automated flow. So automated flows triggers from a service regarding an event. Let's say for SharePoint, if we try to create an item in a SharePoint list, it will trigger the flow, or that can be used as an automated flow. If you work with SharePoint, you know that Microsoft has already deprecated SharePoint 2010 workflows, right? So they have already suggested to use Power Automate to replace that. So there it is heavily used, this type of Power Automate, which is called automated flow. The next is instant flow. So what is instant flow? Instant flows, which is very much used and most popular, but it is like triggering instantly, like clicking a button, something like a mouse button. There is provided actions for, mobile button. There is a flow button for mobile. We can use that to trigger this flow. Something like Power Apps. In Power Apps, if we try to execute an action which is not possible, or there's a bigger lengthy action which is not possible to conduct with Power Apps, we can do that through clicking a button, and that will done by our Power Automate. That can be done. So next type of Power Automate is scheduled flow. We can say it MS flow for now, for saying. So scheduled flow, what is scheduled flow? It is exactly what it sounds, right? So the flow will run based on the stated time and date. So we can have knowledge about timer job, something like that, web job, right? So what happens on there? It will be scheduled for specific time or specific interval, and it will run in that scheduled time or date. So similarly, here we can schedule it, and it will be running for a regular interval or a specific time we wanted. So as an example, if you want to create a flow which runs every day at 5 p.m., we can use this schedule flow. That will work. And next is desktop flow. So desktop flow is newly introduced. Previously, there was UI flow, they are saying. So newly introduced desktop flow is Microsoft has announced that they used the RPA, the robotic process automation, with this desktop flow. So on a side note, RPA is like get a robot to capture and interpret application for process and manipulating data, triggering responses, and communicating with other digital systems, right? So we can do that with the desktop flow, as we are previously giving example, like copying files from one folder to another folder, really copying Word files in an Excel, and even a hectic job like when data analysts do that, analyzing a text file, right? There's a lots of dump data. We need to analyze that and input that in an Excel. That can be also done in desktop flow. That's a huge relief for persons and for daily life, right? And the next is business process flow. That's different than other flows we have discussed, the previous flow, 4 flows, right? Basically, it is used with Microsoft Dynamics 365 to ensure the data consistently throughout the whole process. And if we give an example, so let's say we want to uh, validate our presentation. This presentation I want to validate. Let's say I have a team. That's 2 parts of the team. First one validates the pronunciation, vocabulary, something like that. Sorry again. And the next team will validate the UI part, right? So what will happen? I'll create and this is a regular process for me. Let's say this is a regular process. So I'll create a business flow where the first it will be starting when a person will upload the PPT and he'll start that. Then it will go with an email, send an email and give an form to validate the user first team, and he will put some input, something like that. So in the business flow, we can accumulate automated flow, scheduled flow, or something like that, or even Power Apps form. All those can be accumulated in business process flow. Okay, then. So now we are giving a demo. So I think you can see my screen, right? I'm stop sharing and share again with my application. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see you on the screen.
Okay. So as Aslanul Kubir Bhai said that we are trying to make this easier for the business users and the beginners. So we are not going in a very deep. I just want to get something interesting. So I think Power Automate Desktop will be good for that as a demo, right? Because there are some interesting things that has been provided by Microsoft, which are not previously we saw very recently. So let's say we create an demo 1. We said that demo 1. Okay. It will take some time. So when it is doing that, this is a desktop application. We have to download that and install that in our PC. So without Power Automate desktop, we can work with the other types of automate. We had saw that instant flow, uh, something like automated flow, scheduled flow. Those everything can be done in the browser, right? The provided website for Power Automate. But for desktop, Power Automate desktop, which has been in small, we can say PAD, that need to be done in installed application. So in this demo, it has been already opened up for us. So here first we'll try to read a text file. Okay, let's say we can we do that? So read a text file. Here is files we see. So we want to read text file. Okay, read text from file. Let's. Okay, so this is an action which is saying read text from file. We can put the file path here, and this is the parameter saying the store content as single line value, single text value, and list. So single text value will do something like it will read the whole text of that file, and the list will read line by line, something like that. Okay. And this encoding, that's default UTF-8. We can change that if we need, but UTF-8 is fine for me now. So I have an file ready for this demo. So let me select that. This is a test file. Here I have 3 lines. A, B, C, D is the first line, second line is 1, 2, 3, 4, and third line is a POIU. Okay, we'll try to read this. It's first we'll see if it can read it, right? Okay, we have selected our file and save. So it has been saved, right? And if we can see that it has created a variable which is called flow variable, and this variable name is file contents, right? When it is going to read this data, it will store in it in the file contents. So we want to see if it really save or store the data in file contents. So let's have a display message. Okay, let's say display message. We will take this action. Okay, so this wants us to select some parameters, which first is message box title. Let's say dialog box. So that is basically this one display message. It is saying that is the title, right? So we are saying that our title will be the dialog box or demo dialog box. Okay. And what will be the message? Let's say first we'll give a simple message. Successful. Successfully completed, let's say. Okay. We don't need any icon, or this the default button will be okay. We don't want to change anything. That we'll just save that. Okay. So here, if we can see that first it will read the file and save here and give us a message saying successfully completed. Let's see if it happens. I just trying to save it. Then I will run. Okay, this is saved. Let's run it. So, okay, it has gone in that text file. It has read that ABCD 1, 2, 3 and POIU. I hope you can see that. So that is reading my our text file, and it is giving a text message. Okay, okay. So we want to read this thing and show us in our text box. Okay, let's edit this one, and we want to see these values in our dialog box. To do that, this is the variable. We saw that this here it is storing the values. So we are showing this variable in our display. Okay. So in PAD, they will always provided and this marks for variable. Okay, declaring the variable. This need to be there. So let's save and run. Let's see. Okay, it is providing us the values of that text file and saying, okay, these are the values. Okay, we found that. Next, we will do something like we want to read line by line. Currently, we are reading the full text of that file, right? Let's say we want to read line by line. We need a loop, right? Because we need to read it consecutively. So let's say go to the loop. We need a for loop, for each loop. So in the for each loop, here that needs a value to iterate. So which value we should put? We should put this file contents. Let's say file contents we have selected, and it will iterate every single line. It is iterating by line in the current item. Save. So we will put our message dialog box here, and we don't need that. We want to read the current item for every line. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. It is giving us an error saying file content must be a list, data table, or data row. Okay. So this is the file content again. We are okay. Sorry, we have done one thing.
We cannot see it.
Yes,
Making
it was selected as a text. Yes. So we need to select it as the list, right? Yes. Sorry, my bad. So yes, now it should work. Thank you. So now it should.
I think the screen is static now. We cannot see it getting changed. You're making some changes, but we can't see it on the screen. At least on the Teams, I cannot see it.
Okay, let me stop presenting and
Yeah,
present
yeah.
it. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, now we can change. Now the skin has changed.
Okay, we can see the cursor running. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so here to show the each and every line, we have changed it from single text value to the list. Okay, now it will read line by line from the text file, and we have added here this for each loop for this uh, list, which will storing the value here, right, and saving here as an single line, and here it is. We are showing that. Hopefully that will work. Okay, so first it is reading ABCD. So we have the first line is ABCD, right? So the next line is 1 2 3 4. So that's also done. Okay, so the last line is POIU. That was the last line. So it successfully read all the lines. So now we want to write them, right? We have read all those lines here and show them. We can save them in a Excel, in a Word, or whatever we want. So for now, for this demo, we'll just write them in a text file. So search for that, write text to file. Okay. So here we have to put an file path where we'll want to write that, right? So in my desktop, I want to create a new file, which will be demo.txt. Okay. And what text it will be written. So this, it can be right. So one pointer, you see, for this, we can get the count and length. If it is an empty, is the conditions. So even if we want to uh, process this data with some conditions we have, we can do that, right? Here are the values of this to is it is empty, what is the length, and something like that. So for now we are writing all the data in the first file to the second file. So this is the all the data has been stored here. So we select that and just append the content. Okay, Unicode save. Let's run. Okay. Okay, again, those has been shown. So it has been done. So to show the file, I think I have to change. Okay, you see here we have written all those things twice as we had appended them. Okay, so this way we can read the files data and manipulate them and write here. Okay, wherever we want, how we want. Now again go to our demo. Okay, so this is the sample demo, and next we are try to look that RPA thing, robotic process automation, what we are saying. Okay, again it is, yeah. So to do that, we'll take a new flow, which will be demo 2. Here what we'll do, we will do something with our browser cursor, and we will record them, and the application, the Power Automate, will do that as we have been done for an first recorded. Okay, so can you see the screen for the demo 2, or should I have to add again? Hello.
Can
Yeah.
see, can see, can see.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so let's first let's open the calculator. Okay, that will be easier. So this is the action, run application. So this application path, we have to put the application path here. So I have copied that.
Again, can't see.
Yeah, just a minute. You can see that, right? It is.
Cannot as of now.
Okay. Okay. So this is the run application. I think it is shared again, right? Yeah. So this action, run application, we have added the application path for the calculator. We just added here the exe file path, and the other parameter will be same for now. We don't need anything here, and we are saved. Okay. So now we'll do one thing. We'll open our calculator. So I think we have. To show the calculator. Screen 1, screen meeting, calculator. Okay. So here you are seeing the calculator only. So what we will do, we will add the UI elements from here. Okay. So from this elements, we'll going there, and let's say we'll select control and left click 9, control multiple, and control 6, then equal. What happened? Done. It's screen sharing is okay. So it recorded our actions here. Button 9, button multiple by, I mean this button, and the next button 6, right? So for it is taking us to recording these states as button clicking, and if we want, we can do one thing, like what will happen here, clicking this button, and to do that, We will do something like, again, it is not coming. Let me share again. Can I share this full screen instead of any application window? Is there an option? Hello.
হ্যাঁ শুনতে পাচ্ছি বলেন।
আসান ভাই, আমি
হ্যাঁ
শুধু একটা অ্যাপ্লিকেশন বাদে পুরো স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করতে পারেন এখানে?
ফুল স্ক্রিন
হ্যাঁ, ফুল স্ক্রিন, বিকজ
ডেস্কটপটা
ডেস্কটপ সিলেক্ট করলে ফুল স্ক্রিন আসবে? আচ্ছা, আই থিঙ্ক এটা আসছে এখন, রাইট? ওকে। So what I was trying to show that here, let's open this one that was doing a problem for us. So we want to open the calculator and click some buttons or click some open a browser, and we want to store that, right? Let's say it's each and every day we have to come in the office and copy something file or clicking some buttons, and that's a daily procedure. In each and every day we have to do that. So we can write something like that here. These are the actions is called the UI elements. Here it is there, right? So we can add them here in our window and we can run them. What will happen, we'll see. Okay. So I am not doing anything. It is opening up on its own. It is clicking again, and this is coming. So like this way, we can click wherever we want, right? So to open a browser and getting something, let's say open a browser going in a specific URL and logging on that URL, that can be also done with this RPA procedure, right? But with code, that will be a big hassle, which is very easier here. So it will make our daily life very easy. That's what I was saying. So that is the Power Automate desktop things. So I have already taken my time going back to the slide. So we have covered on almost everything. If any question is there, please you can ask the question. I will try to answer. Or if there is no question, no problem. So you can reach me in my website or you can email me. I will try to get back to you. And with any problem with this presentation or any other things regarding Power Automate or Power Apps, I'll try to contact with you. If we ping me, I'll answer. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for your nice presentation. Hope you will stay and in next time we will arrange more events in coming months. Now we are going to move towards the next session. Prince Khair is there. Khair is there, and we are going to invite him to start his session. Hello, Prince. Hello, Prince.
Can you can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. I've put on the video also on. Hey guys, welcome to the Go Power platform. I'll start sharing my screen. Just give me a second, Esan.
Okay.
Okay. Once you guys can see my screen, just let me know. Can see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the Go Power Power Platform Bootcamp. So as we all know, it's organized globally but held locally, and in our time zone in Bang, we know because of Ehsan some unduly factors, we are having it on another day. So welcome guys. So the topic of my discussion today is integrate Power BI with Power App and Power Automate. So I'll be going through the whole thing. So what I'm trying to discover within this topic is that how we can leverage the power of different utilities within the Power Platform, and what best solution, how we can produce an end-to-end solution for the end users. Just to give my background, myself Prince, I'm the data analyst and regulatory reporting Asia lead for ING Bank Singapore Asia. Basically, we are consistent of almost 90 applications, 70 plus applications within the tribe across Asia, across regulatory platforms in Asia. We are mainly the technology used is Power BI and MSBI technologies, with the vast range of Microsoft different tools and techniques used across. As a person, I love to play outdoor sports like cricket, squash. When I'm representing in Bangladesh, people at least can understand cricket. But if I do it in some other places, people are trying to find what is that sport is all about. Yeah, so cricket. And as a person, I love traveling. Apparently, everything is virtual these days, so we can't do anything. So, but at least we can have these conversations, or at least can exchange the cultures across. Um, so let's coming back to the topic, guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna see how we're integrating the Power BI with Power Apps to have one place solution for all the tasks. Leverage Power Automate to reduce the task on Power BI services and automate operational processes. As you can see from a previous session also, that how Power Automate has become such a powerful tool to do a lot of automations across the board. And when it comes with when you combine it with Power BI, you can take the so-called task to another levels. So let's start. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna learn the capabilities of Power App and Power and how the integration with Power BI can complete the end-to-end solutions. That's how we're gonna make the flow of this whole session. What we're gonna do. So what are the key considerations while you are building Power Apps via Power BI? So individual Power Apps, it's a different story, but when you do it with Power Apps, Power BI, it's a different story altogether. So there are some considerations that we need to keep in touch. Update and inserts only happens to table, cannot happen to views as data sources, but that can also be overcome with some other technique. But for this demo and for this session, we are not going to go in that much deep and details. What we're going to do, we're going to show you the simple static way of starting point for integrating Power BI with Power Apps, just to give you a background, just to make sure that we are at a beginner intermediate level where we can do things on our own. And then the second consideration that we always need to make sure that tables with primary key only gets updated. Design the Power App from Power BI, as it helps with instant refreshes of the reports without refreshing it manually every time around. The fourth one, that is the most important one, the storage mode of the Power BI dataset has to be in the direct query mode. It cannot be in any other mode, because if it's in another mode, a cached mode, then it's not gonna work properly. Okay, it cannot work. The Power Apps cannot work, as to make it as simple. So this is something I've built a small dashboard for you guys to see. So it's a power. So what kind of problem we are trying to solve is that, for example, you're coming from a financial sector or banking sector, where you have regulatory reporting that is needs to be done every day, and it has to be very fast. It's a very time bound kind of an activity. So what happens generally, sometimes the exchange rate gets changed, or exchange rate has different scenario, or exchange rate is entered wrongly by operational people. Then to make a change, and usually what happens, regulatory reporting is done in so-called uh, in a local currencies. So what happens, so if your exchange rate is wrong, then the local currency amount is also gonna get having some issues across. So to make it easier, to give one solution, because if they go and change in the source system, then it takes a lot of time to flow and all this stuff to your system, and then refreshing report, and you might miss the timelines. To make it easier for them, what you guys can do, we can give and give this power app to them to make their changes as per the need basis. In case they have if the auto refreshed amount is not the same amount that has to that has changed over the time from the time they are doing the reporting, they can always make a quick change from here and can get the report submitted on time. That is the tapping point as of today. So let's go to a demo. uh, Okay, so if you see, we're gonna make some. Okay, just see something. Okay, do you see this report out there, guys? Let me know if you guys cannot see the screen. Okay, uh, so if
Okay.
you guys can, if you see the screen. For example, someone comes and says, okay, no, yeah, USD 0.5 is too low. I think the rate is wrongly keyed in. So what I can do, I can go to the record USD floating, go and find USD floating here, go edit the report, make it point 0.7 or make it 0.8 just to distinguish, and just put a submit button. See, all the numbers are getting refreshed now. All the tables are getting refreshed. See, it auto got refreshed 0.8, made the changes all together. All calculations goes ahead and make it work. So see how speedingly, how quickly, how quickly it can turn around the things for the users without having access to the database or without having access to those things to make those changes. So imagine the way we guys can work it, make it work to get these things done. Now I'm coming back. Now we're going to create the similar kind of an app to show how quickly we can create even an app within the Power BI for these smaller things. Okay, I am going to build an app from scratch. So I'm targeting an audience where I'm targeting Power BI audiences, because generally what happens to the database developers or the SQL developers or the report developers or those dashboard developers, that we do not do a lot of coding within the Power App. So that is the reason I'm trying to build an app in from a scratch. I could have done I could have created an auto app just putting from an app studio, but I want to build so that people can do some hands-on labs on their own and can work on this. And it's mainly not tapping the .NET developers also or such. I'm tapping more on Power BI developers, SQL developers, where they don't have so much of a app development knowledge, and but still can develop all these things very easily. So just go ahead, get the Power App control over here. So if you can see this, give me a second. So the best part is that it guides you on each and every step how you want to do it. So for example, when you want to do exchange rates change, what we're gonna say, I'm gonna use ID, I'm gonna see CCY name, I'm gonna use rate, I'm gonna use rate type, I'm gonna use rate. Okay, so these are the columns that I want to use as part of the Power App. So I could have used choose app that and then choose whatever I have created before, but I don't want to, as I want to create a new one. I'm going to click a new one. Sorry guys, it's going to take us a little bit seconds to come up. So now you can see within some minutes we are able to get this whole app done. So you can imagine how quickly we can do all these things. Okay, I'll stop it for now. I'm gonna skip it. So it created some gallery. I'm not gonna use that screen. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna insert a new screen. That would be a list. Okay, I'm gonna remove the screen, delete. So if you see this Power BI integration, that is something that is integrating this app to that Power BI report. That's how, this is the linkage between these two parts, and this is what we're gonna use it, the library of refresh, to get this thing done. So I'm gonna make this name as a selection screen. Guys, mind my spelling, sometimes just a quick hands. Selection screen. I'm gonna change the title as select currency. Okay, so that is done. I'm gonna create a data source. I'm gonna create a data source to a database. The one that I already have. I've created a connection. Uh, I'm gonna make it on title and subtitle. Sorry. So it's asking me to choose a table. I'll just put exchange rates here, connect. I'm gonna edit the field that I would like. Give me a second. So see, this exchange rate has come up. Um, Now I'm gonna say I'll create another screen. Okay, that would be a scrollable screen. I'm gonna remove the canvas. I don't need the canvas. I don't need anything. I just need a title. This will display the record. Displays display record. Okay. Um, I'm gonna, one second. I'm gonna insert the form, a display form. Okay, I'm gonna connect to the existing exchange that we already have it. Gonna make some, edit the fields to get the fields. Um, I just need the currency name, the rate type, and the rate. Okay, and what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna tell the form where to get the data from. So item, you're gonna say browse gallery, the one that we created on the previous screen. Selected value that you want to select. So see, you got the rates already here. You can always fancy it with all the so-called borders and colors and advanced functions, but for now I'm not going to make any changes. What I'm going to make, I'm going to add certain buttons to it. I'm going to add edit to make an update to the record. I'm going to add a so-called a back filter. Okay, I'm going to use this left one. Okay, so once I have these two, Now we need to program it to go back. So if you see, if I put an action out here, I will say navigate, it will automatically tell me which screen to navigate to. So you can imagine Power Apps is making so life easy for someone like me who doesn't know a lot of app development, or do not do a lot of app development, or at least have not done it before creating these so-called complex apps in Power Apps. But that's how it's make it easy for the end users also to create these smaller apps. Display screen. So that's done. So once that is done, I'm gonna add an to edit a screen. So I'm gonna add insert new screen, another scrollable one. I don't need canvas. Uh, okay, so I don't need canvas. I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna add another form. That would be an edit form this time around, so that at least we can edit the records. What we can do, we can say get the same exchange rate. I'm gonna do the same thing here, edit the fields. What fields I want to add, I want to know the ID this time around, I want to know the CCY name, I want to know the rate type, and then I will update add. So what I can do with this also, I can force it to not update the CCY name and rate type with some settings, but for now I'm not doing it, just to get the things working faster. I'm gonna make it an item here. Same thing, browse gallery dot one dot selected. So again got game. So I can see, and I can update as insert update record. Update record. I will add a button here to submit it. I can say submit. So on click on select, we want to submit form. So it again will auto intelligence saying which form to submit. With this, you need to make sure that we put the Power BI integration.refresh to make it so that at least the refresh can happen on the reports very easily. So what we can do now, we got this one, and now we can say on this success, please navigate to display screen, so that you can see what record has been updated. That is done. We have navigated back. Now what we can do, okay, we haven't coded this one, so let's code this one. We're gonna say you on this action navigate to the display screen. Done. So easily you are now able to display out there. On this new record, what we need to do, we need to say that create a new form, so that at least you can use the same whatever you have created. New form 1, and then you can say navigate to screen 2. So fade. Done. So now your app is ready to be run. You can test it and display. Okay, fine. I want to change INR fixed. I'm gonna edit. Okay, so we did not code this one, so we need to code now this one. Actions on navigate to screen 2. Done. So now again you can go here, run your app. Another time we'll try INR fixed 0.6. it should be 0.4 something. So see, it got changed. So how it's working. So once you have made with the app, and once you say, okay, and once you say save once you save the app, so I will say demo underscore bd and save it. So time you save it, it will say the app is already getting updated, so it's gonna take the app on its own. So the integration has worked properly. Another part, if someone doesn't want to build these apps or something, they can always go create a new app, get your SQL connection. So this time Power App itself is intelligence, knows what kind of data source you are giving to it, so what kind of stuff you want to do it on that one. Connect and just see how quickly it creates the app on its own. We took 10 minutes to build it. It doesn't even take 10 minutes to build it also. So if you see, it's already there. So I'll just show you how quickly it has built the app. See, all done. All the three things are done. Detail screen, edit screen. So everything is there on its own. So you can imagine how quickly it has done it on its own. So we'll test the app that we just created. So we'll tell that HGD1 is not the correct rate. Floating should be 0.8. So I'll make it to 0.8. I'll submit. It has come to 0.8 already. It has also reached to 0.8. So imagine how quickly you can do all these things, all the power integrations and all those things with the Power Apps, and making it your report much more useful. Guys, catching till now? Guys, all good? Catching till now? Can go ahead, Asan, sir. Asan, all good? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Asan, can you hear me? Anik, Imran? Guys, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. So guys, catching me till now? All good? Can go ahead?
Yes, sir, you can.
Sure. Okay. So going to the next parts. Um, how to integrate Power Automate now in Power BI. So currently what I was trying to do within the whole thing is that I was trying to create a alert on these so-called gauges and on the card so that I can see a full integration between Power BI, Power App and the Power Automate. But I could not do it on this one because there were some issues out there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna see how we can use the now Power Automate in Power BI. So what does Power Automate means? It's a service that helps you get automated workflows between your favorite apps and services to synchronize files, get notification, collect data, and lot more than that. I think you guys get if you just take an example of Power BI, it only has one trigger point, four tasks that can be done. But with all these small things, you just imagine they have created almost 222 templates for you guys to use it to make it different scenarios and different use cases. that is out of the box, that is already available in Power Automate. So you can imagine with just these small things they can create so much. So you can imagine how big the Power Automate would be. On a trigger point, as of now out of the box is only one, but you can always have an API call via the button actions and all those stuffs to make it easier, to make it more for that those stuffs. And then you have a Power BI REST API, and I think that's actually more than what I can cover within a session. Power BI REST API is another level. They have thousands of things that you can do automations on with that those Power REST API that is also out of the box from Microsoft. So, but for now, that is not the topic of discussion. What we're gonna we're gonna stick with Power BI and Power Automate with the out of the box functionalities out here. So first one, if you see there's only one data alert trigger point. What are the tasks? You can add rows to dataset. You can refresh your dataset. You can download the paginated reports. You can download the reports. Now, how you can so this is a simple refresh occurrence. It's a simple recurrence scheduler, the trigger point, and then it just says the refresh data set. So you can just do a small things, just go. So why? Because if we already have from Power BI service already have a database dataset refresh services out here, what would happen in this one? What would be the use case for this one? The best use case is the recurrence frequency from Power BI Premium is far less as compared to the recurrence frequency what are having in your dataset refresh. Uh, Let me see where I have this one. No, trigger a workflow. Okay. I'll just show you how quickly you can do this part within seconds. So just create your flow. We'll create an automated flow. You can make it a demo underscore refresh. Okay, this one skip. So you can see so many. Just give me a second. Where is my flows? Yes. Okay. So I'll just show you this so that it's easier for to do it faster. Give me a second. I'm not able to get that manual trigger recurrence. Okay. So if you see the recurrence part, just give me a second. Sure. So if you see what kind of frequencies you have, you can even have seconds and all this. So and enter customer value also. So you can imagine how quickly you can do all that stuff. But when you do a refresh data set, it's just a simple boring task or just setting a workspace and the dataset name. So you can imagine how quickly a Power Automate can do these tasks for you without having to trouble you from a Power BI service perspective. Now the second part, what we're going to learn about here is the okay. This one is is something what I called is a so-called is it's a well of oceans with all the possible things that you can do. So this is an API call. What it's trying to do here is that yeah. So it's what it's trying. It's taking this the API call. So what will happen? I'll just show you the report. Where is the report? If okay. So on the button click of this, it's refreshing the dataset of its. So on the action, you can just call the web URL, the URL of this the so-called the refresh from so-called your workflow, automate flow, and you can just refresh. So you imagine just on a click of it, you can refresh the data. Why? And so people will ask, why do we need these things? You need this when, because for example, there's a when you don't want users to give access to users to give your workspace, when you don't want users to take control of your workspace or the datasets or command the dataset. So that's the time you can do all this API thing, and then users doesn't even have to come into picture of doing any of those things, and they can refresh the dataset very easily on the just on a click of a button. So for example, they did some process, they want to see the refresh reports, they can just go and click the refresh report, and they will get the dataset get refreshed within the Power BI service and get the updated result sets. Second part, you can have a click and make it an email notification. So for example, on a click, you can just ask someone to send an email notification of that report. You can subscribe that report on that notification. Then you can see which user is trying to do it via the access and get all those things. So you can imagine the simple API things can get you so much of the triggers and so much of the tasks done. Next one is something very interesting. I'm going to show you how we can build a streaming dataset via the Power Automate. It's quite simple. What you can do, you can just go to your datasets, go to your workspace. What we're going to create this time around is a space station dataset that we're going to create. I'm going to create a streaming dataset. So what it does, this data set, what we're gonna, and then you can use it for a lot of financial things where when you want to do a lot of exchange rates from Bloomberg's, when you want to do a lot of so-called latest portfolios, then you can do all this streaming data set, and then that can help you refresh the reports very easily and very quickly with the latest data. So what you can do, you can create a new streaming data set via an API call. Make it next. I'm just going to show you what is that thing is. Desktop, PPT notes. Okay. So this is a simple API. What it does, it just gives you the latitude and the longitude values of the space station, and just show you the success and just give you the message with the success or failure and give you a timestamp. So you can imagine this is a very simple data set that you can get it across. So but you can always extend it to a lot of streaming data set that you want to do it. So what you want to do, simple. So now you see we have 4 values. Go create this streaming data set. What the data set name should be, it should be demo on underscore bd. What values you're coming, you're getting a latitude, that is number, longitude, that is also number. Then you have got message, that is text. Then you have got date, time, that is also a date time. So once that is done, what you need to tell, keep the historical data. So it tells you that it can read this JSON format, send me in this format, and I'll keep on creating. And once I do this historical data analysis up enabled, what it's going to do, if you don't have a premium capacity, it's going to store 200,000 records for that data set, and after 200,000 records, it's going to leave it and make it a new one. So delete the old ones, get the new ones, keep on coming. So every time you're going to hold 200,000 records from starting from the latest record. So what you're going to see, so once you get this thing created, okay, done. So now what we can do, we're going to go to the work streaming data set. Then you can say which occurrence you want the data set to be in. This one is interesting. This is just an HTTP. You just tell get method and just put this JSON record. So once you do that, it's gonna create its own everything later on. So once you get this API, you don't have to fill in anything extra here. Just get this thing done, authentication done, so that at least, because this is an open API that can any account can have an access to it. So once that is done, you do this parse JSON. So this is a step. So that's why I love the so-called our Power Automate developers, because they have done a wonderful job and reduce our effort to do the main job then rather than doing all these things. So you just go there, paste this to the workflow. So telling that, okay, this is the data set that you should see. And then what's going to create is going to create a JSON values for you yourself. So you don't have to do it for you. It will do it for you. The automate will do it for you. So what I will do, I will remove this and show you how we can now fill this the stream data set to the Power BI. I'm going to delete it. Okay, I'm going to add a new step. Once I say Power BI, it's going to show you the same four tasks that I showed you in the starting. Add rows to dataset, refresh the dataset, export the file paginated reports, export the normal Power BI reports. So I'm going to use the add the rows to dataset. So it's going to ask me which workspace you are referring to. I'm referring to my parents workstation. I'm referring to demo underscore BD. The data set that it has to be done. Then it gives you a table name. That's a real-time data. By default, that's the data. You can add a custom table name to it. And now you can use the content to update your latitude. You can update a longitude. You can upload the message. And then timestamp, I say no, the timestamp itself in some other structure, I cannot read that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say I need the current timestamp. UTC now. Okay, so I got that data set. So now your data set is ready. So every recurrence of 2 hours, it will get the data refreshed. So we created certain report for that, just to show you. Okay, so where is my ISS space station view? So you can see the station is moving from here. I've just created the data set to just show you how this can be used. So for see, it's already started coming back again on the same one. So these are the things that you can build a streaming data set so quickly, so easily with all these automations. The last one that I'm not going to take too much time of you. I'm going to just show you the snapshot the subscriptions. You can create subscription where you can add the reports. So while okay, if you haven't gone on for this Feb 2021 updates, then you don't get a full subscription with your reports as attachments. It will only contain first page. We won't have the whole report. But with this, you can get the whole report attached. You can create a reoccurrence. Okay, and then you can export the power. So what happens in this one, it tells you by default the format of PDF, then but you can have your custom value also, ppx and png. You can have another Excel also. So for example, it has a big details covering what report level filters you want to put, if you want pages to be renamed, if you want this thing to be renamed and all those things. So you can and then once you configure as per your need basis, you can always go and just send an email which and that can also be having a functions to get a call which uses to be send it across. So having said that, let's get back to my presentation. So I've covered the shared drive and the email. I've covered the alerts. Okay, alerts I'll show you again one more. And okay, so the last part, alert is pending. Let me show you how. So if you go to my space station, go back to the workspaces. So if you see, there's a demo here, there's a data alert where you can set these data alerts here. I'm going to edit a file. Give me a second. Give me my workspace. Yeah. So if you see, you just go here, create. It only occurs. The data alert only happens on the three visualizations. Only it happens on card, kpi, and the gauge. It doesn't work on any other stuff. So once you have the value out here, um, okay, so you can go manage alerts, where you can always add a new alert. Demo underscore bd. So you can say which threshold it will, and it will only work on a refreshed report. It doesn't work on a static report. So it has to refresh a report to alert a trigger. So once you alert the trigger, you can obviously use Power Automate to trigger the additional actions. So I hope I have opened it. Yeah. So once you have a trigger point, so this Power BI thing will come towards you. You can see this data. You see which alert, for which alert you want to do it. So I can see any of these alerts that I want to work on, and on that you can send a notification to our teams. You can send a notification on emails. You can send a notification to users to take actions to make it work in the in so-called boundaries. So these are the things that you can do it with the data alerts also. So I just want to show you one small thing, if I'm not taking too much of time, Ehsan, out of someone else's session. Uh, so if you go, yeah, Ehsan, I hope I am not taking someone else's session's times. So if you go here on templates, okay, and search for your Power BI. So see, imagine how many they have it. Endless numbers of across the templates. So they created all these tasks on their own. So you can imagine without a workflow how quickly they can do all these things. So this is something that I was trying to tell you, that these are the stuff that you can do it with these things. So having coming back to the slides, the data alert is also done. And once you are so that's how you can get all the things integrated across with each other and make it a full end-to-end application. I hope the session was nice. I hope you guys got to learn something new or can advance what is you already have it. I hope you can fill up the survey form for me and give me the feedback. Before that, any questions to you guys? Any question from anyone, guys? Asan, sir, any question? Asan, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, exactly. We don't have any question. I think it was a nice session, and it will be very much helpful for the Power BI professional, and it will be very much helpful for those who are uh, not complex coding,
Yeah.
and hopefully in future we are arranging more session with pins here, and
Sure, Asan.
we are
Sure.
thankful. We are very much thankful to Prince that from long distance from Singapore he is taking session and he is giving community effort to us. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Asan. I hope someone can get some useful information out of it and can use it in further. First, thanks, Asan. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you. Thank you very much for attending the session, and hopefully we will be encouraged. If you have any feedback, please share with us. And uh, in uh, in third in each month, third Saturday of each month, we are arranging webinar uh, locally. But you can join it from anywhere, and hopefully uh, we will get more feedback, what type of session you need, and if you have any topic that you need to explore or you need to uh, arrange a session, then it will be helpful for us for organizing the event. And thank you very much for the joining the session. Goodbye.